Eric O'Keefe for the Land Report. One of the things that really fascinates us is the way other publications and other periodicals treat real estate. So much of their focus tends to be on residential and commercial. All you hear about is the housing slump or the mortgage meltdown, which was why I was so pleased when the New York Times in June 2008 came out with a report on how investors are taking a close look at land and how that market is really heating up. Now, I could have told you before, obviously because we cover this on a regular basis, there are a lot of reasons why the market for land continues to increase. Two factors I want you to keep in mind. The first one is 8 out of 10 Americans live in urban and suburban America. Where do they want to live? They probably want to live on the land somewhere. They probably want to sell their empty nest, stop paying high property taxes, get out of crowded commutes, and get into the country. And they can do that these days thanks to increased broadband communication. Obviously, FedEx and UPS have made life in the country so much easier. And keep in mind these factors. There are now much better educational opportunities and much better medical facilities in the country. The second figure that I want to bring up about land is the fact that 10 out of 10 of us are growing older. Baby boomers are moving out of urban areas and suburban areas to the country in record numbers. And there are a lot of reasons for that I'd like to explore. Baby boomers are already affecting land values. Here's a quote from the American Demographic magazine. The South and Southwest is the center of a real estate boom of monumental proportions. Close to 75% of potential retirees express an interest in moving below the 35th parallel. An estimated 50 million people could be moving southward over the next 20 years. Okay, like you, I'm wondering where the 35th parallel is. I had to look it up also. It's Southern California, it's the desert Southwest, it's Texas, it's the South below Tennessee. That's where people are heading. But I want to point out these other figures that the Federal Reserve Bank has already indicated, and it's the increase in land values that are taking place across the country right now. Last year, land values in the Pacific Northwest went up 10%. In the Southwest, up 10%. In the Midwest, up 14%. And in the Southeast, up 10%. But these land values aren't being just increased by baby boomers. The increase in commodity prices that everybody's seeing, whether it be food, whether it be energy, that has a direct correlation in increasing land values. Another way land continues to increase is the fact that savvy investors are continuing to use examples like 1031 exchanges to defer capital gains in land and roll them into additional properties. So you've got a lot of drivers behind the increase in value in land across the country, including the one basic fundamental: enjoyment. People buy land because they want to be on a piece of property, a special piece of property. Half the fun is finding it, getting out and either working on your own or with a broker or going to a developer in an area that you've really had a hankering for. Because as you pursue that, you begin to get into what we call our mantra at the Land Report: invest, improve, enjoy. You can do that for yourself. You can do that with your family. You can obviously do it with a piece of property that becomes a legacy property that you then pass along to future generations or share with future generations. And obviously, you can do something that would affect your land in terms of sharing it with business associates or with a hunting club or a fishing club. I have a lot of friends who actually throw in together on a great piece of property because they're only going to use it a certain amount of time. They share the cost and they get all the enjoyment themselves. But the point is, when it comes to buying a piece of property, you need to buy right. You're going to know what property is what you're after. What I'm going to be able to tell you through our Land Buyer's Guide, which is available here at the website, are some of the points that you need to look at from a financial perspective, from a legal perspective, in terms of how a piece of property and its neighbors fit together. There are a lot of intricacies that I'd like you to make sure that you know before you go in. So take a look, download it, it's available here at the website, and it'll really prepare you a lot better for going out and finding that perfect piece of property. For the Land Report, I'm Eric O'Keefe. Remember, buy land, they're not making any more of it.